Hey everybody! Today we're gonna do part 3 of the Endwalker game 3 walkthrough. So let's get into it. Finally got the stream to work correctly. Man, this whole YouTube thing's definitely way different.
By the 12th.
Oh wow!
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilzabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention. Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must. I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation, here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer. We shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort. Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying us as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya O sends her regards, by the way.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the avatar of destruction. With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead.
Yeah.
Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilzabad contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolain!
Ah, yes. Emanolain de Fouton, at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light. Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Onohua with my tales of derring-do.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Out of my way, you preening fool!
Man, we're taking them out on all fronts.
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities, which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Gaius bloody Baelsar himself is working to help rebuild Werlid, a nation he once conquered. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garland Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Gosh. Where'd everybody go? Besides the delegates assembled here, the Almaja and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to the physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsbard. They would also likely to prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telephori. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defense in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more than has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, so we became prepared. Here you go. Oh, the talismans. We are to keep those closed at all times, yes. I'll see that no one misplaces theirs. And before I forget, I have a message from Hein. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stand, together fight. In darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. Doma, like much of Thord, have been plagued by the towers. Yet, while we could not be here, he wished to be expressed his shared conviction. Hein and Yugur labor without rest to unite the people, and with their aid will keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe and the Eastern Alliance will repay their effort by ending this war. Warding skills for the Ishgardian delegation, I take it. There you go. Many thanks. These talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battle to come. I find myself conflicted by the foray in Garlemald, sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing, and now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Amaric. He would have me put the extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. That, a set of warding skill I spy. Not that I would know what they look like. There you go. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell they're rusting with ether. All the better for off-thin tempering waves. Is that right? Is that the right term? Anyway, this will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain, or whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back to the grave where he belongs. I may have to step away for a second because my dog won't leave me alone, but I'm going to try to get through this. I hear you've gotten something for us. Ah, the scales everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, aren't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gil or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing, I know that you're all thinking. Why didn't they send? I don't know his name. Instead, buggered if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilfer told me was that they needed someone to help safeguard the future, and here I am. Can't say I haven't got a sense of humor. Of course, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land, in the middle of the sodden snow of all places. Well, Me and my crew will do whatever it needs doing, so let's set sail, or however the saying goes on airships. Yes. Here you go. Ugh. So these are the famed warding skills. Enough for me and my men, I see. I myself am especially grateful for this opportunity to visit distant lands. I wish to follow in the footsteps of Master Otoya and learn all there is to learn of the star we all call home. Indeed, that is the primary reason I volunteered to join the expedition. To journey outside the Tollswood, much less enter Imperial territory, is a rare privilege afforded by Pajal. Not that I'm tagging along to see the sights, the Garlands would benefit from my healing magics, as would our comrades should fighting break out. Would you leave me alone, cat? And you. Do you have a warding skill for me too? Well, of course. Here you go. Thank you for this. For going to such incredible lengths to take for the sake of my people. The sneeze is coming. Look into the light. It's not coming. Hey. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice if I may. You have been told by many to be aware the cold of Isbard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I would be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Alamigan quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready to airships. Maximo. Alright, Alphino. Excuse me. This is our last chance to make... Okay. You needn't worry about Urianger and I. We still have what we wore in the Garlemald before. Estinian claims to be quite warm and toasted beneath his armor, and since he spent a fair bit of time north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats if only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark, is that the city of, is that the cry of scions in need of tailor I hear? Oh, here we go. Kryl. Or not Kryl. I can't think of her name right now. But how? Yeah, Tataru. Muhahaha. I have my ways. Oh yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsbar without telling me? Ha! Nothing escapes my notice. Sorry, I have a cat attacking my feet. Now, you will wear these garments I have made for you, whether you like it or not. Do I get a cool one? You never cease to amaze. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion, rather the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creation if I've never worn them myself? I did have one other thing to share. Artemis and Blue Weta have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stone for a while to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Charlian. Oh, why not? You can keep Kryl company and the Baldician Annex. Ow! Okay, hands coming back up. Oh, why not? I already read that. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I heard Artemis and Bluumwita. God, that Bluumwita did a fine job carrying in our stead while we were lying comatose. With him in charge of the Rising Stone, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls to another world, if anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way back to Charlian. Sorry, this cat is very determined to get in my lap. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. Had I known I would have been wearing winter clothes, I would have been fashioned up way before this. Gotta take my breakfast, my disabled veteran breakfast. Medication. Even though it's like 11 o'clock. 11:07, that's close. This is. Can I get a little closer? Is that okay? It's not bad looking. I have to put it on? I mean, how do we unlock more? Why do I have that? What? Near what? What? I'll be right back before I start this. I got animals bugging me like crazy. I apologize, but I will be right back. And I wish my stream deck would stay on the right stream. Alright, I'm back. I'm just curious. Now my audio turned down too much. Alright. I wonder if that's anyway, because I noticed yesterday the audio, the in-game audio was pretty low. So I guess we'll just find out momentarily. Alright. Alright. This is where we go our separate ways. Do be careful, won't you? Oh, that's really loud. I can't hear myself think. I gotta... It's an honor to finally meet you. We of the Garland Ironworks will be ferrying you and your contingent across the mountains and into Garlemald. For many of us, it will be something of a homecoming. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of the expedition. Like, our resources are at your disposal. Stand by. Alright. Just want to make sure it's balanced. If you're ready to depart, I will ready the engines. Upon boarding the airship, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Have I not been doing that since I started this expansion? In addition, you will be required to participate in battle. Your progress will be saved at certain points. In the event that you are defeated, you will be able to try again from the most recent of these. Please note that if you enter the battles associated with other quests or log out from the game, the progress will be lost. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I'm only... Yeah, level 82, okay. I'm going to take away my camera so we can enjoy this without looking at my face scarfing down a snack bar.
Divided in twain by a vast mountain range. Those who would traverse its jagged peaks face peril at every step. But why go by foot when one can simply fly? On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, in the frozen wastes of the Magna Glacius, the winds howl in icy protest, as if to warn against further trespass.
We've received word from Thancred's reconnaissance party. They've sighted a detachment of heavily armed Imperials.
Survivors of the Civil War, perhaps?
Perhaps, but there is more to it than that. Maxima reports that they're led by Vergilia, legatus of the 3rd Legion, which comprises the bulk of their number. However, they are also joined by several members of the 1st.
From what I recall, the 3rd Legion fought for Nerva in the War of Succession following Varus' death. The 1st, on the other hand, were under the direct command of the Emperor and rejected Nerva's claim to the throne. These legions were enemies.
Indeed. In fact, our sources claim that it was a conflict between them that sparked the Civil War. Yet now, these former foes cooperate to defend a ruined Garlemald from invasion.
Then it is all but certain they have been tempered.
So, what's the plan? If me and my crew is out reaving, we charge straight in, no messing about. But that ain't what we're here for.
Quite right. Soldiers or no, they are people of Garlemald, the very ones we have come to aid. Direct confrontation is unavoidable. Nevertheless, we must make every effort to limit casualties on both sides. Rather than kill them, I would remove them from the field.
How so? Savage beatings, disarmament, and imprisonment? Not impossible, but easier said than done in the heat of battle.
Having observed the opposition, I imagine Thancred had something to suggest?
He did. He and the other scouts have already infiltrated a supply depot some distance beyond the Imperial detachment's current position. Stored within is a stockpile of Magitech armaments, and once we give the signal, Thancred's team will destroy them all. In so doing, we will deprive frontline troops of materiel, and likely force the detachment to send men to investigate.
Divide and conquer. Not a bad idea.
Once the scouts have finished their preparations, we will split into two groups. The first will form the vanguard, while the other brings up the rear with our supplies. As for the Scions, I ask that you lend your assistance where you deem it needed most. I would prefer, however, that you accompany the rearguard and be prepared to join the van at a moment's notice. Kept in reserve as our trump card, so to speak.
I think I just noticed that the resolution is all off on my stream, and I may have to go and fix it. Hopefully I don't, but we'll see. His armor looks way cooler.
Your proposal was well received. More specifically, they asked that we destroy the Imperial's toys in as spectacular a fashion as possible.
Ishtola always did have a flair for the dramatic. She's not an easy woman to please, but I shall do my best to satisfy her thirst for fireworks. All right, once more for my peace of mind. Our first objective will be to rig the enemy's Magitech with explosives. After we've withdrawn to a safe distance, we'll detonate them remotely. Our second will be to issue a deactivation command to the automated units via the control terminal. If our calculations are correct, this signal should reach those deployed on the front line, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand. The blizzard will help us stay hidden, so let's aim to get in and out before it passes. Trust in the plan, and we should all live to see tomorrow.
In the meantime, I will relay messages back and forth as the situation unfolds. You'll forgive me if I ask again, but are you certain you wish to play the lone wolf?
Hold on, I'm gonna check, make sure this isn't all out of whack.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it still is. I'm gonna
Call
have
it foolish and reckless if you like, but I'll get the job done. I always do.
to fix this stream in a little bit.
Very well. I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, it looks horrible. Alright. Stand by. I'm gonna see if I can end this real quick and fix it.